Recently, Chicago got a little taste of the suburbs when a play entitled Naperville took the stage at the Wit. This month, I got a sneak peek of the show and spoke with cast, crew, and the playwright, who originally called Naperville home. Suburbia often gets a bad rap for being too much of the same and not enough going on. But for Matt Smart, the town he grew up in was the perfect setting for a play.
I wanted to defend the suburbs and Naperville in particular because I feel like the suburbs can kind of get a bad rap as being boring or monotonous, and I didn't experience that at all. I was born at Edward Hospital in Naperville and grew up there. I went to Waubonsie Valley, and my mom still lives there, so I still go back quite a bit.
The play, entitled Naperville, is a story about a 32-year-old named Howard, who returns home after work in Seattle to be with his mom after an injury has left her blind. He then runs into others who seem to share in similar life-changing struggles.
You know, it can be like a drinking club for 32-year-olds who are back at their parents' house.
It's really about starting a new life, and that happens as a theme for everyone in the play. Something deeply meaningful and grief-inducing happens to every person in the play, and everyone's starting a new chapter of their life.
Naperville parallels the life of our city's founder, Joseph Naper, who at 32 decided to end his career as a shipbuilder and travel west, founding Naperville.
A community stabilizes a life. It can't fix a life, but it can certainly stabilize you. You know, when you go through a crisis, you rely on the people around you. Joe Naper started Naperville, from the research we've done, with one log cabin that 16 people at one point lived in a 16 by 16 house. It's crazy, when you think about that. And it got through, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew, to the point where now there's 5 high schools in Naperville. And yeah, I think that there's always a parallel to settling and struggling and surviving, whether it's in a log cabin in the middle of winter, or when your mom has an accident and you spend time at a Caribou Coffee with her.
Though there is dialogue and small things that Smart inserted from his own childhood in the play that will resonate especially well with Napervillians.
Watch out! Got ourselves a couple of Waubonsie Valley warriors here.
There's little tidbits that are actual inspiration. Like, one thing is that my sister played clarinet, and so there's one of the characters plays clarinet, so that's a little bit of an homage to her. And then one of my classmates throughout middle school and high school was Parvesh Cheena, who's had a very successful Hollywood TV career. So there's a mention of Parvesh in the play, which people who know me get that little joke.
You don't have to be from Naperville to get the bigger picture.
I hope they identify with the characters, and I hope that they have get a new perspective on community and maybe what it could mean. Community can mean in a chain coffee shop in a suburb.
Right. The beautiful thing about this play is that there's a real universal message of understanding community, starting over again, giving people a real fair shot of understanding where they're coming from without judgment. And so whether this is set in Naperville, Winnetka, Wilmette, Frankfort, whatever suburb, I think that everyone will understand just the idea of starting over again and grief and figuring out what to do when you're asked to build a new life for yourself.
Naperville runs at the Wit Theater in Lakeview until October 16th. For 630, I'm Natalie Vitale.